In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning, the earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the face of the deep. The breath of the Spirit hovered over the waters, stirring like a divine whisper waiting to unfold. It was during this sacred stillness that Ayal, a celestial witness with a heart aglow in anticipation, marveled at the emptiness. Time had yet to bear its weight, but the silent promise of creation beckoned with intensity, resonating within Ayal's spirit. As the first day dawned, a voice echoed through the void, piercing the silence. "Let there be light." With that divine command, a magnificent brightness shattered the darkness, illuminating the heavens and the earth. Ayal gazed in awe, witnessing colors in vibrant bloom, a tapestry of creation unfurling before his eyes. Day and night had begun their celestial dance, and the rhythm of time was woven with purpose. Is this the purpose of humanity? Ayal pondered, sensing the sacred connection intended between the Creator and his eventual creation. On the third day, God commanded the waters to gather, revealing dry land that he called earth. Ayal watched with wonder as lush greenery sprang forth, flowers bursting into bloom under the watchful care of their Creator. Yet amidst such beauty, a tension grew within Ayal's heart. Will this thriving world be filled with life? What will it mean to walk in the image of God? Ayal longed to understand the essence of this purpose. As each day unfolded, Ayal observed staggering displays of divine artistry. The sun appointed to govern the day, while the moon and stars adorned the night sky. Nature flourished, but with every heartbeat of creation, Ayal felt an escalating anticipation. What souls would tread upon this vibrant earth? Would they respond to the call of their Creator with reverence? Then, on the sixth day, the moment of culmination arrived. Ayal witnessed the Almighty kneeling upon the ground, forming humankind from the very dust of the earth. "Let us make man in our image," God declared, and Ayal's spirit soared with the raw potential of humanity. This was the masterpiece of creation, a reflection of the divine. But as God breathed life into their nostrils, Ayal felt an unsettling whisper, a flutter of foreboding. Would humanity honor the glorious design laid before them? Before we continue with this incredible biblical account, I want to make sure you don't miss any of these powerful scripture stories. Click the bell icon and select all notifications. These biblical narratives have transformed countless lives throughout history. If God's word through this story is blessing you, please like and share with someone who needs to hear about God's faithfulness today. Tell me in the comments which biblical story has most impacted your faith journey. I'm always amazed how God's word speaks to hearts across generations. Now let's continue with what the Lord did next. In this beautiful yet fragile world, Ayal sensed the monumental weight of free will bestowed upon humanity, a divine gift replete with promise and peril. As Adam and Eve awakened to life in the lush paradise of Eden, joy filled the air around them. Yet Ayal could not shake the question that clung to his heart. Would they listen to their Creator's voice and abide by the love and order established, or would chaos and discord disrupt this harmonious creation? With this divine mystery lingering in the atmosphere, Ayal remained a witness to the unfolding journey of faith and the incredible covenant waiting to be discovered in the hearts of the newly formed beings. What would become of this creation, and how would it reflect the essence of God's eternal design? As the dawn of the seventh day approached, a sacred hush enveloped the Garden of Eden. God looked upon the work of his hands. Everything was very good. His creation pulsed with life, its colors alive and radiant under the azure skies. Adam and Eve, skin-kissed by the sun, roamed the lush gardens, naming the creatures that flitted and scurried around them with joyous wonder. Their laughter echoed like music, notes woven together with threads of innocence and delight. Yet amidst this perfection, the divine watchfulness of Ayal remained. He observed the union of man and woman, perfectly complemented and intertwined, reflections of their Creator's love. "This is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh," Adam proclaimed as he beheld Eve, his heart full of newfound understanding. Ayal marveled at this union, how it mirrored the sacred relationship of the divine. "Will their hearts remain steadfast?" he questioned, feeling a spectrum of emotions swirl within him. In the fullness of Eden's glory, God instructed them, saying, "You may freely eat of every tree in the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die." This command rang with authority, like the heavy toll of a bell announcing the gravity of their choice. Ayal sensed the weight of this unfolding drama. Would they honor the boundaries set by the Almighty and flourish, or would they succumb to the seductive whispers of disobedience? As days turned to weeks in Eden's embrace, Ayal felt a stirring among the branches. A serpent, cunning and deceptive, coiled itself around the tree of knowledge. It spoke to Eve, urging her to eat of the forbidden fruit. Did God really say you should not eat of any tree in the garden? The question was laced with doubt, a poison that dripped into the sanctity of divine trust. Ayal's spirit trembled. He could not intervene, for the sanctity of free will held both hope and peril. Eve, enticed by the serpent's words, gazed upon the fruit, seen as delightful and desirable. She reached forth, her hand trembling, as she took the fruit and ate. Ayal's heart raced, sensing the shadow of sorrow that would soon envelop Eden. The joy surrounding Adam and Eve faltered. Their eyes widened as they became aware of their nakedness, their innocence shattered. They sought to cover themselves with leaves, a futile attempt to mask the newfound shame and awareness that had emerged. Ayal, witnessing the fracture of harmony, felt the pain of heaven's sorrow. "Oh, that they would have trusted the heart of their Creator," he lamented silently. The open door to chaos had begun to creak, and the consequences of their choices loomed on the horizon like dark clouds, threatening to cloak the light. As the sun dipped lower, the footsteps of the Creator echoed through the garden. "Where are you?" he called, the voice of love tinged with anguish. Adam and Eve hid among the trees, their hearts burdened with guilt. But what the serpent had not known was that the very seeds of redemption were already sown within the divine plan, a promise waiting to unfold, hidden in the shadows of their disobedience. The heavens watched with bated breath, knowing this would not just be a tale of fall, but one of incredible grace. For even as corruption whispered through the garden, heaven's hope glimmered with tenacity, awaiting the moment when God's sovereign promise would shatter the darkness forevermore. As the moments stretched into an eternity within the verdant confines of Eden, the air thickened with an impending heaviness, a moment frozen in divine anticipation. Adam and Eve, stricken by shame and remorse, peered from their hiding place, their hearts echoing with the toll of their transgressions. God, who walked with them in the cool of the day, approached with a heart full of both justice and mercy. "Adam," he called, each syllable carrying the weight of unbroken love. "Where are you?" The voice of the Almighty reverberated through the trees, a beckoning echo that pierced the veil of their disgrace. Adam's heart trembled as he answered, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself." "What have you done?" God inquired, his tone both solemn and inviting, a plea for confession. that sacred moment of reckoning, Adam spoke. "The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the fruit, and I ate." The blame, like a dark shadow, fell from his lips, casting blame upon Eve. Yet the weight of the sin was shared, a darkness now encompassing their hearts. Eve, caught in the web of guilt, replied, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Her voice quivered as the truth dripped from her heart, betrayal coursing through her words. The serpent, once an instrument of persuasion, slithered in the dust, cunning and remorseless, casting its gaze away from the divine light, now revealing the depths of human frailty. Divine justice, both swift yet measured, descended upon Eden. To the serpent, God declared, "Because you have done this, cursed are you above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life." The weight of a curse fell heavily, a foreshadowing of deeper enmity that would ripple through all of creation. To Eve he spoke, "I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In pain you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." The sacred dance of unity marred by pain, the sweet gift of motherhood forever entwined with the thorns of anguish. And to Adam God pronounced, "Cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the herb of the field." The curse was a reminder of their choice, a new reality where toil now shadowed the joy of creation. Yet, as the echoes of judgment mingled with the whispers of despair, a sacred promise began to weave its way through the darkness. In the midst of the consequences, God declared a glimmer of hope, speaking to the serpent, "I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." Ayal witnessed this divine proclamation, feeling the undercurrent of redemption coursing through the air, the very fabric of a promise extending into eternity, a tale unfurled where hope would arise from despair and grace would cover the folly of choice. With heavy hearts marred by disobedience, but bound to an unyielding promise, Adam and Eve were clothed with tunics of skin, a tender act of mercy where the first sacrifice foreshadowed the ultimate reconciliation. They were to leave the garden, yet a path toward redemption was set into motion, a divine history unfolding before them. A long journey of faith awaited, hidden within the essence of their struggle and the sovereign plan of the Almighty. For in the depths of their pain lay the inception of grace's journey, revealing a profound mystery. The promise would flourish amidst the fall, igniting hope in the hearts of many to come, marking the beginning of redemption's incredible tale. As Adam and Eve stepped forth from the familiar embrace of Eden, the air thickened with the weight of their exile, each footfall thudding heavily against the shaken earth. The sun lingered low in the sky, its radiant beauty casting long shadows over their path, a reflection of the internal turmoil that now marked their existence. Outside the gates, the world lay before them, raw and untamed, a stark contrast to the cultivated paradise they had lost. With teardrops etched upon their cheeks, they beheld the land that would now yield its fruit only through toil and sweat. Adam, the caretaker of the garden, would now become a weary laborer, his hands calloused and worn from the effort of providing for his family. He turned to Eve, and his heart ached for the burden she would carry, the labor of childbirth, overshadowed by pain, yet punctuated with the promise of life. "Eve," he whispered, "we must not forget the promise we were given. Our hearts may be heavy, but our hope remains." Eve nodded, the shadows of despair lifting momentarily as the weight of Adam's words embraced her. Perhaps through our children, the seed promised to us will come forth, bringing healing and restoration. In the distance, the landscape sprawled endlessly, a testament to their choices. Genesis 3:24 resonated within them, with the flaming sword now guarding their path to the tree of life, a stark reminder of their lost communion with the Creator. They ventured forward, the echoes of divine judgment still resonating within their souls, yet beckoning them to a future tinged with grace. As seasons changed, night and day danced their eternal rhythm. Adam and Eve began their life beyond Eden. In time, Eve conceived and bore a son named Cain, followed by Abel, a precious gift from God. With every cry that filled their dwelling, the weight of sorrow was woven into the joy of new beginnings, a sacred tapestry of hope. Yet amidst the joy, shadows crept upon their hearts. Cain, in his jealousy towards Abel, grew restless and wild. The Lord, in his infinite mercy, spoke to Cain, urging him to master the sin that crouched at the door of his heart. Genesis 4:7 revealed the struggle within, where the weight of rejection could lead to despair or repentance. Adam and Eve observed, their hearts heavy with dread, as the brotherly bond began to fracture. In sacred moments of their prayers, they pleaded with God for their son's heart. Wherever sin revolted, their calls echoed, a testament of the profound struggle that began in the garden. One fateful day, as the sun's light pierced the horizon, the world spun upon its axis in a climax of turmoil. Cain, consumed by anger, rose against Abel, his hands stained with the weight of fratricide, igniting the first act of bloodshed since the fall. The earth cried out, for it had received the blood of innocence. In that moment, Adam and Eve stood frozen, witnessing the painful reality of their choices, the stark consequences unfolding before their eyes as they remembered the promise. From their lineage would emerge hope. Even in this darkness, Adam murmured, for every fall there is the grace awaiting its rise. We must look unto the future. Amidst the chaos, a flicker of divine revelation stirred. For from Eve's womb would spring forth generations woven into God's sovereign plan, a tapestry of redemption, a chain of faith stretching across ages. It was in their most desperate moments that God's purpose would shine the brightest. What they could not foresee was that the heavy burden of this hour would illuminate the path to salvation, setting forth an eternal hope that would feel like a gentle whisper in the storm. The time is coming when the broken will be made whole. And the Lord spoke unto Cain, saying, Where is Abel thy brother? Cain answered, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? The lamentation of Adam and Eve echoed in the heavens, for they understood the depths of their son's betrayal and the heart of sin that now resided in the human heart. Despite the bitterness of loss, the steadfastness of God's presence lingered as the Lord's inquiry pierced through the darkness. Then God placed a mark upon Cain, setting him apart as a sign of mercy, that he should not be slain by others. Thus he became a wanderer upon the earth, a testament to both judgment and grace mingled together. Cain departed from the presence of the Lord, and Adam and Eve's hearts sank further into grief as they considered the chasm that had opened in their family. In the wake of Cain's departure, days melted into weeks and weeks into years as they toiled in the fields under the weight of a sorrowful world. Eve bore more children, and from her womb there arose a lineage that would encounter both trial and triumph. These children grew under the watchful eyes of their parents, and though Adam and Eve shared the burden of loss, they also rejoiced in the blessings of new life. One day, their daughter, named Seth, was born, and Eve proclaimed, For God has appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. Hope stirred within Adam and Eve, knowing that the promise of a future Redeemer remained steadfast despite the darkness surrounding them. As Seth grew, he called upon the name of the Lord, and a new generation began to rise, one that sought to reclaim the lost intimacy with the Creator. The earth, once marred by bloodshed, began to witness the beauty of faith as the descendants of Adam and Eve turned their hearts to God. Yet the legacy of sin lingered, for Cain's lineage grew also, marked by cruelty and defiance against the Lord. The world became filled with violence, and the cries of the innocent reached unto the heavens. Adam and Eve watched as the wickedness of humanity multiplied, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that their choices echoed through time. "Will our hope be extinguished?" Adam mumbled, wearied by the plight of mankind. But Eve, though sorrowful, responded, "The womb of our faith holds the promise of life. God has not forgotten us. He is weaving a plan even in our suffering." As the days turned to years, the faith of the righteous continued, and from Seth's line arose men and women who walked faithfully before God. They built altars of worship, their praises mingling with the cries of creation, entreating the Lord for mercy and redemption. The shimmer of divine mystery danced upon the horizon of their hearts. For though the flood of sin threatened to wash away hope, a bright light remained, steadfast in the promise of a seed that would crush the serpent's head. The grasp of despair clutched tightly, yet flickers of light pierced the darkness, revealing God's unwavering resolve. And then, amidst the shadows, a whisper traveled through the ages, a prophecy held dear by all who sought the face of the Lord. At the appointed time, it was said, a great deliverer shall come, and he will blot out every transgression, restoring the fallen creation unto himself. The time had not yet arrived, yet Adam and Eve held fast, knowing that they were part of something far greater than their individual sorrows. Little did they know, the tapestry was being woven with each tear and each hope, leading toward an extraordinary crescendo, a divine culmination where all would be made new. And it came to pass, as the days multiplied upon the earth, the children of Seth raised their voices in unity, calling upon the name of the Lord, as was their custom. They gathered upon the hill where their forefather had built an altar, and the fragrant offerings ascended as a sweet aroma unto God. They poured out their hearts, searching for the promise of the seed and the redemption of their lineage. Among them stood Enosh, the son of Seth, a man filled with holy fervor. He declared unto the people, "Let us not lose heart, for our God is a God of mercy and redemption. In our prayers, let us implore him for guidance and strength against the lurking shadows of sin." His words rang true, igniting a fire within the hearts of those who listened. Yet the wicked lineage of Cain, marked by pride and rebellion, turned their hearts further away from the Lord. Within the land there arose a man named Lamech, a descendant of Cain, who boasted of his violence and defiance of the Almighty. "I have slain a man for my wound, and a young man for my hurt," he proclaimed with pride, his voice filled with contempt. The legacy of murder persisted, infecting the earth like a malignant disease, drawing forth the wrath of the heavens. The hearts of Adam and Eve ached as they beheld this chaos unfurl. Eve oft pondered the prophecy spoken over her, the promise of the deliverer yet to come. "Will his arrival be in my days?" she wondered with trepidation, holding tightly to the hope that sustained her spirit. As the years turned like the seasons, the descendants of Seth began to multiply upon the earth, thus filling the expanse with both righteousness and iniquity. They worked their fields, but also sought the Lord in the quiet of the night, where they pressed into prayer and sought his face. The contrast between the faithful and the wicked became stark, for the descendants of Cain crafted weapons and built cities where evil flourished. Then one day the voice of God pierced the thickening darkness. "Behold, I will not strive with man forever, he spoke, in a whisper that trembled through the air, heard by those who sought him. The heaviness of the moment weighed upon the hearts of the faithful, for they knew that judgment was drawing near. In that hour of quiet desperation, the Lord revealed unto Enosh in a vision a glimpse of the great plan to come. He saw a vast flood that would cleanse the earth of its corruption, yet through the waters a vessel would bear hope. Enosh's heart raced as he understood. The ark is a refuge, and within it lies the promise of life. As he shared the vision with his brethren, a holy fear enveloped them. "We must prepare ourselves," they exclaimed, rallying to build altars of repentance and to erect defenses against the sin that sought to overwhelm their spirits. A spirit of communion descended upon them, uniting their voices in fervent prayer and supplication as the remnant of righteousness sought the mercy of the Lord. In this divine narrative, the tension escalated, and as the years turned ever darker, the hand of the Lord moved quietly upon the earth, weaving threads of destiny unforeseen by man. For in the silence, God was orchestrating his magnificent deliverance, a fulfillment of the promise long cherished. And in the shadow of the impending storm, the question loomed large. Would they arise as one, clinging to his promise amid the gathering tempest? Would faith endure in the hearts of the faithful, as a beacon of hope against the looming flood? The answer lay cloaked within the divine mystery of his sovereign plan, waiting for the perfect moment to unfold. And it came to pass, after many seasons had passed, that Enosh, burdened with urgency, felt the weight of the vision press heavily upon his spirit. He gathered the sons and daughters of Seth on that sacred hill, where the altar stood as a testament to their unwavering faith. "Brothers and sisters," he announced, with a voice that trembled yet rang with authority, "the Lord has revealed to me a great and terrible thing. A mighty flood is coming, a cleansing upon the face of the earth. Yet within this judgment a vessel is appointed, a means of escape for those whom God chooses." The gathering hushed, each heart lingering on the brink of despair and hope. Adam, the patriarch, stood among them, his eyes clouded with the memories of past judgments and promises unfulfilled. "Tell us," he implored Enosh, "what are we to do? How can we be numbered among the faithful in this hour?" Thus Enosh spoke, "We shall build an ark as the Lord commands, large enough to hold our families and the living creatures of the earth. With our hands we will craft this vessel of salvation." The fervor of his words ignited a determination among the people, and they set forth with as much vigor as their hearts could muster. Day and night their labor continued, as echoes of hammer on wood and the shouts of encouragement filled the valley. It was a sight of stark contrast, a community of believers rising up against the tide of wickedness. As they worked, they prayed, calling upon the Lord for strength and wisdom, beseeching him to show mercy to their families in the coming storm. Yet, deep within the land, darkness had not been idle. Lamech, the bearer of Cain's cursed legacy, roamed the cities of declension, inviting others to join him in defiance against God's warning. He commanded his sons, "Let us mock these builders. They toil for a God who has forgotten them." Thus the children of Cain laughed and jeered at the faithful, whose hands bore the imprints of labor, while their hearts held the hope of salvation. As the laughter echoed through the valleys, Enosh and his brethren felt the sting of scorn. But Enosh, emboldened by the Spirit, raised his voice amidst the ridicule, declaring, "We choose to believe in the promises of the Almighty. You may scoff, but our God is faithful to his word. He will not abandon his people." The righteous stood firm, and the resolve within them deepened. United by their faith, they pressed forward, unswayed by the vapid whispers of doubt. Days turned to months, and still the ark took form. Each beam and plank became a symbol of their trust in the Lord's provision, building not only a vessel, but a testament of hope against a backdrop of despair. Eve, watching the faithful toil, prayed silently, "May we be preserved as we cling to the promise, the Redeemer shall come through our line." And God looked upon the earth, his heart weighed with compassion, yet justice. The cries of the faithful and the wicked resonated before him, filling the heavens. "Prepare thy hearts," he spoke, in the reflection of the winds, "for a new chapter in the narrative of mankind is upon you. For amidst judgment lies the gift of grace, a renewal, a promise fulfilled." Thus, as the last planks were laid, and the ark stood mighty against the rising tide of insecurity, a question filled the air thick with expectancy. In the balance between mercy and wrath, would all who sought refuge find it? Would the faithful discern what lay ahead in the depths of this divine plan? The answer awaited, shrouded in the mysterious workings of the Almighty, pulling the threads of their faith ever closer to the ultimate revelation of His sovereign purpose. And it came to pass, in the fullness of time, as the last light of day cast long shadows upon the ark, Enosh called to the gathered faithful once more. With a heart stirred by the whispers of the Most High, he laid bare his thoughts. "My beloved brethren, the Lord has not left us without signs. The heavens grow dark, and the earth itself cries out for renewal. As we labor upon this vessel of salvation, let us also humble ourselves before the God who commands the storm." The people bowed their heads, united in prayer, as Enosh led them in acknowledgement of their frailty. "Forgive us, O Lord, for the moments we falter in faith. Strengthen us to endure the trials that lie ahead." Their voices intertwined, ascending like incense before the throne of grace. Then, without warning, the ground trembled slightly beneath their feet, as if the land itself was heaving under the weight of impending judgment. Enosh raised his hands. "Fear not, for even in the earth's groaning, let us remember the promise of refuge. Our Redeemer is near." Days melded into one another, and the toil seemed endless. The ark grew steadfast upon the hill, towering high and proud, a beacon amongst the fields of desolation. But while the faithful rejoiced, the children of Cain, emboldened by Lamech's scorn, continued their relentless jeering. "What foolishness this is," they cried, mocking the diligence of those who built under the eye of the Almighty. Yet Lamech, driven by envy and spite, felt a creeping fear in the pit of his soul, a disquiet he could not mask. What if their God is speaking truth, he pondered, battling thoughts beneath his bravado. But pride and darkness held him fast, and still he rallied others to mock the worthy. And so it was that a shadow was cast over Enosh's people, not of their own making, but from the discord sown by the godless. The faithful grew weary from toil, and doubt crept into their hearts like a subtle fog. Enosh, perceiving the dimming embers of hope, called the people together once more. "Brothers and sisters," he began, "do not let the laughter of the wicked distract you from the promise. They may mock us, but our God is not a God of distant silence. He is a God who hears, who knows our struggles, and who is faithful. As it is written, the righteous cry, and the Lord hears, and delivers them out of all their troubles." Psalm 34:17. "In the darkest hour, He will not forsake us." With these words, a wave of revival swept through the assembly. Faith ignited as they took their tools once more, each strike upon the wood, echoing strength and resolve. The mocking laughter, once a tool of despair, now fueled their determination. As the final preparations unfolded, the skies above shifted ominously. cloud upon cloud gathered, dark and brooding, an orchestration of divine providence. Thunder rumbled in the distance, a warning of what was to come, yet also a reminder of their steadfast Creator. Enosh felt the trembling heart of creation, and an unmistakable urgency settled upon him. "Gather your families," he commanded, "for the Lord is about to fulfill His word. He has promised refuge for all who heed His call." And in the stillness that followed, the wind whispered a secret to Enosh, a revelation still shrouded in divine mystery. What lies beyond the flood, he mused, and who among us will stand in the new covenant forged in the waters of grace? What will emerge from the chaos, and how shall we be shaped by the trials that await? Thus, as the first drops of rain began to fall, each droplet promising both cleansing and judgment, the faithful looked skyward, sensing the weight of God's sovereign plan unfolding in their midst. And it came to pass, as the rain descended in torrents, the heavens opened wide, unleashing a deluge that had long been prophesied through the voices of the righteous. The faithful, gathered within the precincts of the ark, huddled close together, their hearts beating as one, a living testament to their faith amidst the roaring tempest. Enosh stood at the helm of their faith, his eyes bright with resolve, for he trusted in the God of mercy, who had directed their hands and hearts to this moment. "Hear unto me, beloved of the Lord," he called, his voice rising above the cacophony of the storm. "This flood shall carry away the wicked, but we are encased within the promises of God. Our hope shall not be drowned. It is anchored in His unfailing love." With each passing hour, the waters surged higher, encircling the base of the ark, as wicked laughter turned to cries of despair in the land beyond. Those who had scorned the laborers of the Most High now found themselves engulfed in chaos, their hearts filled with trembling and fear. "Why did we not heed the warnings?" they cried, their voices swallowed by the relentless rain. These cries reached the ears of the Almighty, piercing through the roiling storm clouds. Inside the ark, the faithful embraced each other, their faith knitting them together tighter than the very wood of their vessel. "We have chosen well," one exclaimed, reflecting upon the divine mercy that had graced their lives. Enosh, listening closely to their affirmations, sensed the divine presence of the Lord amongst them, a protective shadow in the night. Yet amid this tumultuous revelation, a thought wove its way into Enosh's heart, unbidden, a vision of what lay beyond the flood. "What shall we be once the waters recede?" he pondered, clutching tightly to the promise of God, revealed through generations. "Will we carry with us the old ways, or shall we emerge transformed, ready to fulfill a new covenant?" As the hours dragged on, the ark gently swayed upon the waves, a cradle upon chaos. Each drop of rain was a reminder that God was cleansing the world of iniquity, readying to sow a new season of righteousness. A silence soon enveloped them, the chaotic roar giving way to a sublime stillness, a breath held in anticipation as nature gathered her resolve. Suddenly, the floodwaters crested, and a great rumbling echoed through the depths, a reminder of God's great power. Enosh turned his gaze upward, despair and hope intertwining in his heart. "Lord, protect our children, shield them from the storm," he interceded, clinging to the faith they had forged through trials now past. The voices of his loved ones reverberated through the ark, a melody of hope ringing forth, a song of salvation. Then came a whisper, gentle yet forceful, carried upon the "Tell the people to stand firm, for beyond judgment lies a promise yet to be revealed. The earth shall be set right, and a new beginning shall spring forth from the heart of the chaos." As the final droplets fell, the realization struck Enosh with a clarity that pierced his soul. What comes after the flood is a testament not just to survival, but to this glorious revelation, that in destruction there is rebirth. In despair, the seeds of hope shall flourish. And thus, as they held their breath in stillness, the divine plan unfurled. What lay ahead was not only deliverance, but a mission, a profound calling etched in the very fabric of creation. But will we rise to embrace what God is about to accomplish? Enosh mused, his heart swelling with the weight of God's sovereign design. For little did they know, as the first rays of dawn began to pierce the stormy horizon, their journey of faith was just beginning, astir with God's purpose yet to unfold. As the sun broke upon the horizon, its rays kissed the surface of the tranquil waters now engulfing the earth. The storm had passed, the noise of destruction quieted, leaving behind a newborn world glistening like a jewel. Within the ark, Enosh, Adam, Eve, and all the faithful stirred, their hearts beating in rhythm with an unspoken anticipation of what lay ahead. "Behold, the Lord has preserved us," Enosh declared, his voice a resonant note of hope echoing within the wooden sanctuary. "This vessel has borne witness to his mercy." The faithful, their faces illuminated by the early light, raised their voices in praise, a harmonious shout that reverberated into the void. His love endures forever. As the floodwaters receded, the ark ground to a gentle halt upon the mountain of Ararat. God's promise, sealed in the shadow of the storm, soared above them like a rainbow in the sky, a covenant, a sign of hope. Adam, adorned in a humble garb of renewal, turned to Eve with a heart full of gratitude. "Our journey has reshaped us, my love. We have witnessed both the depths of despair and the heights of grace." Eve nodded, her eyes shimmering with belief. In this moment, we are not defined by our failure, but by the promise that flows forth from it. For God has been faithful to his word, and through our lineage shall come the seed of redemption. Stepping onto the firm ground, their feet pressed against the fresh earth, a longing arose in their hearts, a yearning for deeper communion with the Creator. Enosh, compelled by the breath of the Lord, gathered the faithful around him. "Let us build an altar here, a testament to God's unfailing love. We shall offer him our gratitude, for he has not only saved us, but has remade us." With hands united, the faithful set to work, collecting stones, arranging them in reverence under the watchful gaze of the skies. As the fire ignited upon the altar, smoke spiraled heavenward, no longer a pleading for mercy, but a joyful declaration of deliverance. "Praise be to our God," they sang together, voices intertwining like a sacred promise, enveloping the world in a cacophony of faith. The echo of their worship swept across the land, crafting a tapestry that wove generations together. As they offered their sacrifices, God smiled upon their obedience and spoke to Noah, saying, "I establish my covenant with you. Never again shall the earth be destroyed by a flood, and this shall be a sign between me and you, a rainbow in the sky." And with that, the promise of hope filled the hearts of all present, reaching into the depths of their spirit. Thus, fresh life began anew, generations overflowing, born of faith and woven with intentionality. Each child came bearing the legacy of the covenant, crucial threads in God's grand tapestry. Seth's lineage flourished as children were raised in the knowledge of the Lord. Temples of worship arose near flowing rivers as hearts yearned to recapture intimacy with their Creator. Meanwhile, darkness still loomed, a reminder of Cain's prideful descent, contrasting with the flourishing faithfulness of Enosh's descendants. "Let us teach the young ones of what has passed," Adam encouraged, "for remembrance is a part of resilience." Years rolled forward, and as the shadows shaded the land, God's singular purpose began to unfurl, a promise written keenly in their hearts. The generations who followed, from Seth through Enosh, called upon the name of the Lord, weaving a rich legacy of faith and hope. Then came the day, shrouded in mystery, when voices of prophecy whispered in the air. Out of the lineage of Abraham shall come one who is the seed, born of the faith of our fathers, a Redeemer who will crush the head of the serpent. Through struggles and triumphs, the faithful clung to this promise, believing that the deliverer was indeed coming. As the ages cascaded like an eternal dawn and humanity continued its pilgrimage, the story of redemption transcended each trial and test. Voices rang out across valleys and mountains, reminding each other of the covenant promise, etched into the annals of history, the faith that stirs the heart and beckons the soul. And now, dear friends, as we close this incredible chapter of divine resolution, let me invite you into deeper communion with this promise. You need to subscribe now to stay connected to God's Word, ensuring you won't miss the next powerful biblical stories that will transform your life. Leave a like now to help spread God's Word through the algorithm, reaching hearts yearning for His truth. We want to hear from you. Comment your spiritual reflections and how this biblical story impacted your faith journey. Your insights are treasured. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear God's truth. This is the moment to help spread biblical truth. Don't wait even one more second to share this powerful testimony. The hearts of many await the hope of His promise.